Again, one of Jussie Smollett's attorneys. Let's bring in our attorney, criminal defense attorney, friend of the program, Manuelian. What do you make of that? So, again, come on, this has got to be a head scratcher that prosecutors believe he faked the attack, but yet you're going to drop charges. What do you make of it?
Well, you know, Mike, I think that people are in an uproar because there wasn't transparency in this case. The deferred prosecution program is available to anybody that has a misdemeanor or, in some cases, a felony in Chicago where they don't have prior felonies, and he qualifies for a deferred prosecution program. In fact, the Cook County prosecutor said they gave 5,700 of these deals last year. So I think everybody's upset because they really don't understand the nature of the judicial system in Cook County. If they came out and they were a little bit more transparent about it, if they spoke to the superintendent and told him about it, I don't think everybody would be upset.
But they're not even calling it a deal. I mean, he's there, and there's the video of him. Basically, he's innocent, ready to get on with his life. People want to know what happened. Well, a lot of money's been spent. You know, what's had happened at the end of the day here?
Well, Mike, there's two aspects to this. There's the legal side and there's the public relations side. So, of course, he's going to say that he's innocent. He wants to get back to work on the set of Empire. But from a legal perspective, he cut a deal. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Look at the facts. The evidence is sealed. Why would they seal something if the case was dropped? Obviously, he had some sort of deal, and it's a deferred prosecution, which basically means that they're accepting $10,000 forfeit from his bail. They're accepting the community service that he did. There may be other terms and conditions, too. For example, abide by the law. And, you know, he's eligible for this program, much like many other residents in Cook County. I think, again, everybody's upset because there wasn't transparency. And, you know, I heard Rahm Emanuel go over and over again saying he was indicted. Mike, you know there's a saying, you can indict a ham sandwich. That doesn't mean much. And personally, I'm not a big fan of grand jury proceedings. They're in secret. They're one-sided. The prosecution only gets to present evidence. The defense attorney's not there presenting evidence. It's really not a fair proceeding. So, you know, from that perspective, you know, I don't think it's fair to say that, you know, there's a whitewash of justice. This happens all the time in Cook County. Personally, I think this was political. The superintendent is running for elections. Jussie Smollett is a famous actor, and maybe he did something, maybe he didn't do something, but obviously there was not enough evidence. Otherwise, the prosecution would have not, you know, given him this deal.
You don't think so? Even though Rahm Emanuel said it, and many believe it, including the Chicago police superintendent, was justice served? No. The mayor said just a sliver was shown to a grand jury, and you get a 16-count indictment. A sliver of what they had. Sounds like they had a pretty good case to me. Why do you think not?
Well, first of all, in the grand jury proceeding, there's only one side of the argument, and the side is the prosecution. The prosecution presented a whole bunch of evidence, and so from that perspective, of course, anybody could be indicted. It's very easy to be indicted, and I think this was prosecution overkill. 16 counts. And additionally, obviously, there was some falling out. Something happened between the grand jury and yesterday, which caused the prosecution to consider the deferred prosecution. I believe that it has something to do with the brothers that were involved in this case. Something happened where the evidence fell apart, and the prosecution re-examined this case and realized they were not going to be able to convict. And based on that, they saved face. They gave them this deferred prosecution program, and they cut their ties in this case. And that's what basically happened.
You real quick, you think the brothers are lying?
I think that the brothers probably came out with inconsistent statements. I think it has something to do with the check. They originally said that he got a $3,500 check to stage this fake attack. But in reality, from what I'm reading in the news accounts, the brother's lawyer or somebody in that camp is saying now that that check was just for a workout fee. So there is some cracks in the prosecution's case. I've always thought this was prosecution overkill with 16 counts. And I think it's somewhat political from my perspective.
And we got to leave it there, and we'll talk to you again next hour. But I think political on whose side? You know, well, think about that. Hold your fire. Or what about Kim Foxx? You know, think about her stake in this as well. We'll talk about that next hour. RJ Manuelian, good to see you as always. All right.